Right now at 5, this Milwaukee man now charged with punching and killing a 2-month-old child.
That man, named Kenta Evans, admitted to police he punched a little boy in an argument with the baby's mother.
Evans went before a judge today for the first time. Our Adriana Mendez was there, and his disturbing details are in her report.
Police say this all stemmed from a fight between Kenta and the baby's mother. Now 2 families are left living their worst nightmare. Hanging his head low, Kenta Evans made his first court appearance Monday afternoon. Police say he is responsible for the reckless homicide of a 2-month-old boy.
State of Wisconsin versus Kenta Evans.
According to the criminal complaint, on June 5th, Evans went to see the baby and his mother, Jessica McNeil. Once inside this home, Evans became angry, accusing McNeil of having other men in the home, even taking her cell phone and smashing it against the wall. During the argument, the baby's mother walked away from Evans to her room where the baby was playing in his pen. She picked up the infant and asked Evans to leave. Evans is accused of punching McNeil repeatedly with a closed fist, all while she was holding the infant. A family member noticed the infant was bleeding from his mouth and had multiple knots on his head. The 2-month-old was rushed to the hospital, where he later died. Evans' family was in court today, but they did not wish to speak on camera. His next court date is June 20th. Reporting in Milwaukee, Adriana Mendez, today's TMJ4.
Right now at 5, she wrote about the toll gun violence took on her community. Then she was killed by a stray bullet that tore through her home. Today, the trial began for the man accused of firing the shot that killed Sandra Parks. Ben Jordan with late developments this afternoon.
Late this afternoon, Isaac Barnes waived his right to a jury trial, opting for a court trial instead. That means a judge will decide his fate. Prosecutors didn't waste any time getting the Isaac Barnes trial started this afternoon, immediately calling on 3 Milwaukee police officers who were dispatched to the scene where 13-year-old Sandra Parks took her last breath. Officer Joshua Herman went straight into her north side home on that November night.
When I approached the residence, we could see gunshots ringing through the window.
The 8th grade student was watching TV in her house near 13th and Hopkins last fall when a stray bullet struck and killed her. Court records show Barnes' ex-girlfriend was parked outside a relative's house that night when Barnes allegedly approached. His ex-girlfriend told police he was wearing a mask and holding a large AK-47. Defendant Barnes told his ex-girlfriend, expletive, "You lucky the kids are in the car. I was gonna fan you down." Barnes is one of 2 defendants in this case. Prosecutors say Untitled Odin told police he observed Barnes shooting at an unknown target as they walked from the store.
All that I observed was a male subject, black male subject. It was dark in the gangway.
Officer Michael Valuch was also sent to the scene to search for the suspects.
Took flight on foot, eastbound through the yards.
Valuch claims that man turned out to be Barnes. Odin allegedly helped him hide guns after the shooting. Altogether, more than 50 witnesses could be called to testify in this trial. Reporting at the Public Safety Building, Ben Jordan, today's TMJ4.
And the tragic toll continues. At least 15 children have been the unintended target of gun violence in Milwaukee this year. And as the school year comes to a close, there are efforts to keep kids safe, like the Safe Summer Assembly hosted by Safe and Sound. Today, young people learned ways to resolve conflict.
And what is it about the summer that increases this kind of violence?
Well, you know, it's hot. You know, most of the winter people are hibernating. It's 0 below, all the snow out there.
Safe and Sound believes the ability to resolve conflict is the best defense.
We now know the name of the man who died on Sunday during Madison's half Ironman competition. He's 61-year-old Michael Mccullough of Cottage Grove. Autopsy results show Mccullough suffered a medical emergency. He drowned in Lake Monona. One person was also rescued during the swimming portion of the race and is still in critical condition. The owner of a CBD dispensary will try and convince the Cedarburg Common Council tonight to let him expand his business. The city has already said that CBD is not permitted in its central business district. Earth Dispensary is located in Bayview. If approved, its Cedarburg location would be the first one in Ozaukee County.
Drivers in Ozaukee County may be noticing some extra aircraft in the sky today. The Wisconsin State Patrol flying over I-43 looking for speeders. There were nearly 20,000 speed-related crashes in Wisconsin last year. A similar operation is set for a week from tomorrow in Walworth County. and a lot of drivers finding it a lot tougher to get around downtown Milwaukee. It's all because of a major paving project that's forced rolling closures along Wisconsin Avenue. Crews are closing 1 to 2 blocks at a time, and this is the first of a 2-day project. The plan is to have all this work done by tomorrow afternoon when you're commuting.
Hundreds of soldiers from central and west central Wisconsin will soon be headed to Afghanistan, and all 400 members of the Wisconsin National Guard based in Eau Claire will be deployed. Their mission is providing security for coalition forces in Afghanistan.
We have an update now on a story we've been following for the past several hours. A helicopter crashing on top of a high-rise building in New York City. Authorities say the chopper was in the air for about 11 minutes in rainy, foggy conditions before it crashed and burst into flames. One person, the pilot, was killed. NBC's Chris Pallone is in Midtown Manhattan with the latest.
It happened just north of Times Square in Midtown Manhattan shortly before 2 in the afternoon. People who work in a high-rise office building on 7th Avenue at 51st Street felt a jolt.
Well, I thought maybe it could have been an earthquake or something.
Within moments, it became clear a helicopter had crash-landed on the building's roof.
The preliminary information is that there was a helicopter that made a forced landing, emergency landing, or landed on the roof of the building for one reason or another. There was a fire that happened when the helicopter hit the roof.
People in the building were ordered to evacuate. The New York Fire Department says that fire is now out. Sources say one person believed to be the pilot died in the crash. He was the only person on board. Of course, anytime there's a sudden evacuation of a building in Manhattan, it brings up painful memories of September 11th, more than 17 years later.
It was very scary that everybody had to run out. They thought it was like 9/11.
But right now, this appears to be a tragic accident.
There is no indication at this time that this was an act of terror, and there is no ongoing threat to New York City based on all the information we have right now.
The NTSB is sending a team to investigate the crash. Chris Pallone, NBC News, New York.
Baseball great David Ortiz underwent surgery today to remove his gallbladder and part of his intestine. This is after he was shot in an apparent ambush in his native Dominican Republic. He's listed in stable condition. Right now he's being flown to Boston, where he will get further treatment. Police are still looking for the gunman. Many big leaguers today tweeting messages of support to Ortiz. Brewers infielder Travis Shaw, once a teammate of Ortiz's on the Red Sox, tweeted, "Please be Superman one more time, David Ortiz, please." Much more on this story and that New York City helicopter crash coming up on the NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. That is about 23 minutes away.
Today marks 100 years since Wisconsin became the first state in the country to officially ratify the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote. A ceremony in the state capitol featured an unveiling of the state's original document and comments from First Lady Kathy Evers, who led the state's efforts to mark the anniversary. They're also descendants of women suffragists.
Retailers are battling out for new workers. How one major chain is sweetening its incentives.
And with new cases still being reported every week, New York comes under fire for its response to a massive measles outbreak.
Beautiful Monday, just a few clouds, a lot of sunshine, temperatures in the 70s. Little windy though. That northwesterly wind seeing gusts up to around 15 to 30 miles per hour. When those winds die down and when we have some more rain in the forecast coming right up.
You're watching today's TMJ4 with Carol Meekins, Steve Shamraz, Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brian Goddard, and Lance Allen, Sports.
Welcome back. New York's response to the largest measles outbreak in more than 20 years is coming under fire.
Our state's inaction in the face of such an overwhelming public health emergency is appalling.
Many are upset with a state law that allows parents to send their unvaccinated children to school. Also being criticized, health authorities for not bringing in the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
I have more than 400 people working on this outbreak, and we are working hard day and night to make sure we bring this to an end.
More than 800 people in the state have become sick, and New Yorkers have infected people in 4 other states. So far, no cases reported in Wisconsin.
Consumer news now and some welcome news. If you've got a little vacation time coming up, gas prices are down. The average price for unleaded has dropped about 8 cents a gallon just in the last week. This is according to AAA. They report we may have already seen the highest gas prices of the season. Target adding to the benefits it offers its full and part-time workers, including an increase in paid family leave time and expanded child care. The Minneapolis-based retailer will be increasing family paid leave from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. That's for birth, adoption, surrogacy, or foster placement. The move comes as unemployment is nearing its lowest level in decades. That has retailers trying to outdo each other with attractive new benefits.
It's called the homework gap, a term that refers to the difficulty students experience in completing their homework because they don't have internet access at home. An Associated Press study finds that term now refers to nearly 3 million students in the U.S. An estimated 17% of students don't have access to computers at home. 18% don't have access to high-speed internet, and they're likely to be students of color from low-income families or in households where the parents have less education.
Isn't it just like a Monday to be nicer than half of our weekend?
It keeps happening that way.
Take a live look outside. It's gorgeous out there. A little windy though, but splendid nonetheless. Brian Goddard is in with our next chance for rain in the Storm Team forecast next. Welcome aboard. The first cruise ship of the season arrives tomorrow at the port of Milwaukee. It's the Pearl Mist, a 210-passenger ship that also docked here last year. It's the first of 11 cruise ship stops expected in Milwaukee this year. That is more than double the total we had last year.
We have a lot of happy tourists that come
We're
to
a
our
destination.
city, and they say, oh, Milwaukee is so beautiful.
Come for the weather and be disappointed half the time. Time for the latest on that right now.
Not today.
No, half the time though.
Is that our new slogan?
Come for the weather, be disappointed half the time.
I like that. That's really good. Will Julie McCoy be on this ship or Isaac? That's what the Love Boat. For those of you who are too young, the Love Boat.
Yeah.
Look it up. 74 today. A lot of sunshine. Windy, but it was that northwest wind that it dried us out. It was kind of humid yesterday. Got that fog out of here as well and really allowed us to warm up even at the lakefront. Beautiful, beautiful blue sky. Just a few fair weather cumulus clouds. Waukesha at 72 degrees. Look at the dew point, upper 30s. That is extremely dry. You can probably feel it on your skin. Humidity at 31%. That northwest wind sustained around 20. Winds are already starting to die down. We were seeing winds gusting over 30 throughout the day, now between 15 and 25, and they'll become lighter throughout the evening. The patio planter, or your deck, whatever you have, you want to be outside, this is one of those nights. The wind does die down. By 8 o'clock, it's between 5 and 15, still sunny and 68 degrees, and then really light later on tonight at 63. The Allergy Report,